Hi all, welcome to Game Week 25. We have 60 squads running this week, mainly because we've actually been able to field training squads. We haven't been able to do select your target in season, just not really brought in enough for Premier League, and also just with how other things are going this week. We've just tried to balance our options out and ensure that we keep, like the Top Scout for example, going every day to get the tickets and try and fill in gaps where we've spotted. But we're getting there slowly but surely, folks. Let me know what you're running this game week ahead. Obviously, we've got international break coming up next week onwards, and that will make things all the more interesting. So, best of Europe, running Mainan, Wilfred Singo, João Neves, Bradley Barcola, and Anthony Jung. Tried to go with favourable fixtures and favourable players, and I feel I've nailed down a good 5 here where it all kind of clicked. Anthony Jung's playing really well at the moment, and hopefully that helps. I feel João Neves as captain feels the most logical. I did ponder putting Jung as captain, but we'll go with this in the immediate. Obviously I might quickly change it again before 3 o'clock. Anti-stack specials, we are fielding 2 squads. I did try and hope for that we could field more, because we do have some spare keepers, but as obviously when you check the anti-stack specials, you only get 2 teams, and I can't do a rare because I don't have any more rare players to field. So Quintero, Shota Fukuoka, Ryota Aoki, Aitak Kara, and Christopher Peterson. It's good to see him back. So, and that is a 5 that actually has real potential to actually sneak a reward if all 5 not just play, but play as well as they can. So see how that one progresses. And of course we've got an early one, 5 o'clock, so see how that happens. Team 2, we have Langrak, Ideguchi, Van de Boys, De Blasis, and Yamashita. Not getting much longer of Langrak, whether it be Zomated or rare, and they're getting to the point where they're going to be non-existent for their prices. So we'll be taking hits on them, but that is life. We'll have to think about bringing in new options fairly quickly, and probably do that over the international break, because we only have a few more weeks of owning both. So we'll look at who we can bring in their place. Select your target. I'm not expecting obviously anything from this. Obviously with the classic one, the end season we could have had half a team, technically, but is what it is, because we didn't have 2 extra spare in season Premier League players that we could have used. We've gone with Kieran Slicker. Now the reason why we've brought him in is for 2 reasons. He's cheap just now, and also because he's been called up for Scotland. I think he gets a sniff. I don't know why. I think Scotland, like Steve Clarke might give him like a second half in a game or something, instead of not just calling up for the sake of it kind of attitude. He might get given a sniff, and if that happens it's like 35-40 points. And your kitty, Tarkovsky, Tavernier, Evan Ferguson, and Bellegarde. Now the thing is, if 4 of the 5 play, 300 could easily happen. Now time I was hoping I would tell you just for highlighting it, but not to be. In season I've not sorted team names out yet. I will sit down and get them all sorted as we usually like to do, just time and all that kind of thing just now out the window. But we've gone big. We've not sorted out new Premier League keepers. I will sort these out for post international break, simply because just now owning them, if I buy, say, I've been looking at a few, whether it be Sales, big, either Fabianski or Flecken. Just now the prices might drop quite hard for international break, so I thought I didn't really want to commit funds, as it were, if the players aren't going to be away for international break, or even if they are, they might drop a bit more, just through other reasons, mainly through more rewards of them. But we'll keep an eye and we'll just bite our tongue on these 4. As long as I'm still getting the boxes, I'm not going to complain too much. But Pinnock, Elliot Anderson, Janelle, and Keane Lewis Potter. Then Michael Keane, Morsey, Ryan Yates, and Jordan Ayew for that team. Pinnock, Norgard, Janelle, and Raul Jimenez. Then Semedo, Janelt, Collins, Wood, with Marino making up the last option in the warm-up squad. I totally didn't realise for some reason I missed the Premier League warm-up, Bundesliga and La Liga warm-up, so we've now got these sorted: Flecken, Anderson, Van Dijk, Matthias Cunha and, as I said, Marino. So got a chance at essences as well, because it's like top 5% and there's like 2,500 spots. So yes, you've got your roughly finishing the top 100 or so, but see what happens. See what happens in that respect, and we'll take it from there. La Liga, bit decimated across the board with suspensions, a few injuries, and maybe even a bit of misinformation from Spanish media. So, Chilison, Selim Almala, De Marcos, Inigo Rui Galerta, and Chime Alvaro making up the main team for this week. Chilison, Alex Munoz, Llorente, Rubial, Easy Pizon, then Soriano, Franqueza, Rozier, Lopez and Ivan Sanchez making up the third of the in-season squads. Now, Soriano was brought in because Spanish media had reported, and for what I'd watched of the game, that Dimitrovic had picked up a back injury and wasn't going to be playing this weekend. That was for what I'd translated and read and heard on Spanish media, that Soriano was going to come in this weekend and would be playing. So I thought, right, that's fine, we'll bring Soriano in for a few different teams and maybe gives us a bit of a chance. Now, for what has been reported, that Dimitrovic is fit, he's fine, he'll be playing on Saturday, and there's nothing to worry about. So it's like, has it been mistranslated or something? I'm not sure, but Soriano, we've brought in for now. I'm not losing anything, I'm making profit on all of the cards I bought anyway, but we will see how this one plays out. If he doesn't play, then we know we can just get out on Tuesday night or whatever, just get out of all of them and bring someone else in his place. But if he does play, then we've got to then consider keeping him, so depending on the result. So yeah, so this is one to watch. Guaita, Rico, De Frutos, Aitor Rubiel and Juan Cruz. I will probably maybe just, can I adjust this team? This is one team I think I hadn't quite adjusted yet. No, I can't. I'll try and get a classic. I'll try and get another classic forward before. In fact, I know what to do because I'm running two here. Give me a sec. So, put Berengu in this team. At least we spot these things now. So Berengu in there. Yep. I thought I'd sorted all of this. I thought I'd pinpointed every single player accordingly, but clearly I had not. Don't want to use the Lewis Miller because I'm trying to sell him. But I'll put the Bellerin in for now, hoping like where he starts or not, it's a different matter. But yeah, we need to kind of address a few options. But we're trying to get more Bilbao. We're trying to get more Betis. Like that's how Yuri and Ruiz, like classic cards, are in. Guaita, Munoz and Sandro Ramirez. So we've got a bit of Las Palmas, we've got a bit of Bilbao, we've got a bit of Betis. So we've got teams that we know well about, but and obviously like Leganes has a variety of options as well. Chelsea, Sanik Comasana, Femenia, Bellerin and Jorge de Frutos. But they're another team, Villarreal. I feel like if we're covering bases like Villarreal, Betis, Bilbao, gives us options. And Agrazabala, Casado, Inigo Martinez, Rafinha and Rozier. I feel Julien's got a favourable shout for a clean sheet, and then Inigo and Casado have just solid enough. In theory, if you did run a common in this, then over Rozier, if you could, then I suppose you'd be sorted, but reality you've just got to work with what's in the rules, which is a limited. So yeah, it's not too expensive in the bank balance, but there's definitely options out there. Then in season Bundesliga we're a bit hampered with Pickler. I'm going to have to have a look at what else I can bring in, but Nicholas, Jason Lee, Gunter, Romano Schmid, and good thing is like Schmid and Jason Lee are internationals as well, so that helps. Labrovic, hopefully continues to start and hopefully can get a chance at the international break. Metz, Gigovic, Weigl and Hoffman. And that team, Eggstein, Janulis, Labrovic and Eggstein for that one. Then Labrovic, I love how we've got 3 of them doing the business, but joys of what we're working with. Jackson Irvin, Itakura, Eric Smith and obviously a Pickler. Looks like we're going to have to change Elise. I thought I'd changed them but I hadn't. Neuer, Alfonso Davis, Kane, Anthony Jung, so Elise will come out. Tom Bischoff putting in massive numbers just now. Might just go with Jamal or in fact we'll put Kimmich. Kimmich is literally a cheat code, come on. Kimmich is like guaranteed big numbers usually. So our first rare champ team, which only happened as a result of trading thanks to Alex. Basically bought a couple of cards, got out of them for like good profit. Like there's one guy who'd offered me cards. Now it was like J1 and K1, but it was players that were sadly rubbish. And when I went through the guy's gallery, I had other cards I wanted, and I'd said, right, there's my counter offer, and he was like, oh, if you want them, it was like, you have to give me like £25, and I'm like, on top of these cards, and I'm like, you're getting these 2 players who are worth at the time was like £25, and I'm trying to take players from you that are basically the same value, yet you're offering players that were like a quarter of the value and thinking I would accept it. I'm like no, it doesn't work that way. You don't offer me like 10 players that are basically junk and think I'll accept when I'd seen 5 players that he had that were not necessarily for this champ team, but it was for different teams. It was like 5 different teams it was helping, like between champ, challenger and contender. But he was like, no, you're valued these players massively over. I'm like each card was like £5, and I'm like, I'm basically giving you but either way, didn't happen. Alex was happy to do the same trade and give me what I wanted, which was a champ, rare team, and so I'm quite happy with what we've put together. So Soriano, obviously we hoped he was going to be playing, but it doesn't look like it, but we'll keep an eye. Christian Gunter, Toro, Izzo and Joshua King. Quite excited about that actually, that's a good chance. And 1100 players in it. Let me see how many. 25%, so there's a real chance of a 2-star box. Like, so there's a real chance, I would say, surely. But yeah, we will see what we can put together, and if we can get a 2-star box, I'll be quite happy. Like, Classic is our first step into it. If we can move into in season with rares, I'll be quite happy, but will take time. Then Soriano, Vicino, Pablo Mari, Utara and Hanin. Then Sissoko, Massina, Bellegarde and Giassi. Dimitrovic is in a Division 5 team. We put him in like a low priority squad. Sierro, Saibachu and Magnetti. Hoffman, the Atalanta players of Jamitsi, Zappacosta and Darun with Steve Mandanda. Then another Steve Mandanda squad with Gunter. I've put in a rare Chirivelin because I'm trying to put rares to use as well. Michael Keane and Johannes Eggstein. I might actually change captain because I'm going to maybe put Gunter instead. But Chirivella gives them a use. And that's kind of the way I looked at it with some of my rares. I thought, who can I put in where that help fill in gaps of players that kind of struggle for use this game week. Mandanda, Gulavu, Eggstein, Longstaff and Sarah. I think when I was looking over it as well, I could have even, like, there wasn't much else I could have put in because of how players are playing and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, we'll see what we can do and take it from there. We're going Sidibe and the Chevalier, Santos, Lewis and Lewandowski squad. Our Challenger squad, we've dropped to Division 3 because we cancelled this team last week. Mainly because the Howen that we got on the cheap was what we were able to sell on and bring a new one back in on the cheap for in season. So we kind of used timings and tradings to our 40, on this case it sacrificed the relegation, but in the end we would have been relegated anyways. I think we were relegated by like a point or something in the end when I done the maths, because I found somebody I know in the same division, and they basically had a team that was a point worse off than me, and they were relegated. And I was like, oh, so that's how I missed out. So Vergever, Howen, Clement, Behunik and Venter, Busk, Flornus, Ryan Leonard, Ken Sema and Hansen, Busk, Denora, Cooper, Sean Adewoye and Robinette. Hansen being 10% is the only killer in this. I hope he plays, because I feel like these rare teams are now starting to develop a bit of their good teams. Like Cooper and Denora, like the Millwall lads midweek were unlucky. So it is what it is. Then Shinton, Rosier, Delge, Adekanye and Kohler, Brandehorst, Kadri, St Jago, Omerson and Ivo Pinto. Like, these are fun squads, like they have potential. Brandehorst, Engels, Flornus, Robinette and Boknewitz. I need to bring in more rare challenger, limited challenger, maybe in season cards with the MLS players, but I'm going to scope out what, as I said, we need over the international break. Do what we did the last one that allowed us to build a lot of these teams' improvements. So I'll commit funds, take it from there and see what we have. So Nardi, Verdonk, Clement, Lauritsen and Van Lebeherga, which for me is quite a serious team. Like, it has serious potential. So I'm quite excited by that. Didion, Vergever, Linthorst, Kleenies and Montero, with Vanosh, who I need to change, sorry. Green needs changed to a Busk. Where's Busk? Jacob. I thought I'd changed this. Joys of thinking we changed it, but we hadn't. So, yes, there we go. Yes. So when we go back to the training teams, we're fine. So, and then Israel, Gabriel Sara, Debast, Gorkes and Delge. Yeah, I feel favourable ties for everybody, and come Sunday night, that could be in the money. Like nearly 3,000 players, 5%. Like, if I'm brutally honest, that has a real chance. Like, could easily win it. Like Delge, if he can pop off like he can, you've got a serious chance of 500 plus points. But yeah, realistically, you need someone that's got a limited sporting player, really. I would say contender squads, J1 slowly phasing out as well. I've got to change Ojeda to Honglet's captain, because that is the only player I think that is at risk. Quickly check this. Sorry, not no game. Who's been used? Yeah, we'll change that to Artuno. I've got a bit of changes that have occurred, but it is what it is. So Sugano, Hirayuki, Calvo, Ortero and Maijima. Sugano, Oda, Olextea, Kono and Sato, Kanamori, Hongla, Langrak, Polido and Ortuno. The in-season teams just can't seem to get settled in the promotions and relegations. It's a bit annoying, but work with what you have. Malaneka, Nakano, Suzuki, Fernandez and Mugosa. Literally that hurt that was a DMP 1 week, and it's like you can't seem to get settled back up. Bursic, Kiminti, Daiki Suga, Mohamed Silla and Akuno. Nagishi, Kono, Maya, Tiffany and Araki. Esketa, Moi Delgado, Tanaka, Aritz and Dubison. I did originally have an Arana in the Sankris squad, but due to him being injured, that's how Sankris has moved here. Kim Jin Hyun, some really fun teams. This has potential only if Melkerson can start. It was kind of limited on attackers. Mids I think were a bit better, but Barco and Kusance are literal cheat codes for contender squads. So I was like, Melkerson's one of the few attackers that maybe even just comes off the bench, but because that's what his position seems to be now. Then under 23s, Shinton, Ndai, Santi Garcia, recent addition, Clearys and Richinel. Ndai just puts in massive numbers just now. If I'd captained them last week, we'd have got a reward. So we're not making that mistake this week. Shinton's in 3 of the under 23 squads, with Adam being the last. Penetra, another recent addition, Araki, Lansana and Bio. Shinton, Zabarnia, Bullwood. Beljo's at a third, like 33%, I'm not sure why. And then Richinell with Lewis Miller, Sissa Sandra, Erthausen and Hansen. Now Lewis I wouldn't be personally normally playing, but I might drop him actually. I'm going to maybe swap Nishu on from, just with my concerns. There we go. I'd rather play Nishio over Miller. I feel like Miller's not going to necessarily start, but we'll keep an eye nonetheless. I've got the Hib stuff to cover. Chevalier, Rico Lewis, Andre Santos, Yamal and Messi in that. Training squads, mix of players actual fit and not fit, all that kind of good stuff. Incomplete, so this was just needing Ortuno fixed. I'm going to put Rubio on there, in case he magically. Players just to keep an eye on. And this team is any keeper that's probably not going to be playing. Like I'll put in Berto because we don't know our situation with him. But yeah, that's everyone accounted for. 60 squads, 6 training teams, and we will take it from there. Feels weird actually having 4 starting keepers and Howen, Dakovic and Busk in these squads, but joys of circumstances and all that kind of stuff. But we know we have options to fall back on, and the main options as well for like contender, challenger, under 23s. So yeah, can't complain about that, especially when we're trying to give ourselves options across the board. But yeah, gallery is maybe a bit bloated as well, doing a bit of overhauling over the international break. Gonna get my spreadsheet sorted out in full, and take it from there. But let me know, folks, what you are running this game week and what your hopes are. Let's see, we're getting steady on the essence as we said. 127 now and 21. We're not fussed about crafting for now. I know I could craft a tier 3 and a tier 5, but why? Like, why would I? I just want to go up to the tier 1 ideally and take it from there. So, and also rivals, we're hoping to get over the weekend, get ourselves cemented in Div 1 and maybe even sneak top 5. But let me know, folks, as I said, what you're running. Have a good one. Bit longer than usual, covering so many different things and so many squads. Take it easy all, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you all later.